My name is Erica Lorraine Spencer, and I remain subject to state surveillance and terrorism by the state of California that is operating a malicious targeting system which is referred to as federal group stalking and monitoring via communication devices. And it is in violation of federal stalking statute 18 U.S.C. sections 2261A subsections 1 and 2. My website and podcast serve the public good by publishing evidence of the public entity's ceaseless engagement in a pattern of conduct intended to stalk and monitor via communication devices, surveil, harass, and terrorize an American citizen in concert with the people of the state of California. Documentation serves the lawful purposes of wide exposure, federal prosecution, and influencing federal legislation with policies specifically designed to punish, dismantle, and disincentivize an unprecedented targeting system by a public entity that acts in concert with the people of the state in order to criminally place under surveillance and terrorize an American citizen, which is a matter of public corruption in the state of California. See the patternofconduct.wordpress.com.
It is currently 12:49 a.m. on Tuesday, July 26, 2022. And the Ontario Police Department, which I captured in video, engaged in the same demonic and obsessive and highly demented stalking as a police department. This is a police department they're stalkers. That's what the Ontario Police Department are. And they are engaging in stalking, revealing through that very conduct their unstable mind states, which is going to be the center and the in the federal prosecution of that police department and the police officers who I've specifically documented engaging in group stalking. Indeed, and as a group stalker, your mind state is it is brought central into question, engaging in the group stalking pattern of conduct. So this is video that I captured at 10:50 p.m. and I'm mentioning that because the Ontario Police Department at 12, again, the current time is 12:49. It's 12:50 a.m., 12:49 a.m. as soon as I engage in a new movement. So I'm laying down. So as soon as I get up, in other words, engage in a new movement, which is the demonic behavioral pattern for a demon to create audible activity with simultaneity to that while they're in directed light, the entity starts sounding helicopter activity. And it's not just sounding helicopter activity, meaning you are remaining around me in a helicopter all night long, which is what the entity is always doing. I'm just breaking down for you what the Ontario Police Department is engaging in. They are engaged in ongoing ceaseless surveillance, maintaining presence in the sky space, using up a helicopter full of fuel, stalking in the sky space, remaining directly above me and around me. And this is what I capture on video at 10:50 p.m. This is what the entity is continuously doing at 12:49 a.m. And I want to document that. This is the entity that is stalking with audible activity. And the audible activity of this helicopter, this is speaking to as I am moving about, going wherever it is that I go, but it's demonic, okay? And this is a demon. This is Page 1 Cafe engaged in the P.O.C. It is currently 7:55 a.m. All right, you'll see this demon. He's turning on and off his leaf blower. While he is in directed light, you could see him standing in the directed light. This is a demon. He's standing in the evidence, directed light. He is standing in while he's using this leaf blower, turning it on and off, and also engaging in this conduct as I operate my phone. That's a demon that knows what you're doing on a communication device, which these demons are monitoring. He's doing it with the Ontario Police Department. So you're talking about, again, federal prison, while they engage in what is harassment. Demon stalking with audible activity is harassment by a demon-possessed entity engaged in federal stalking. It is a method of stalking with noise, and this is a psychopath that also knows that they're being documented. This is also the sex offender they're monitoring in the bathroom all day long. I may not directly mention Page 1 Cafe, but they remain in relevant position while the entity is stalking in the bathroom and maintaining presence in that engineered light in that private space. Page 1 Cafe, the minions working at Page 1 Cafe. And Page 1 Cafe, by the way, is affiliated with, I believe, the Ontario Convention Center. They are engaged in state surveillance and terrorism, and that direct evidence of it. And they remain inside of the venue of the Ovitt Family Community Library. So they are, regardless of what is their official affiliation, as far as identifying who you're going to sue on paper, who you're going to prosecute on paper, they are a part of the Ovitt Family Community Library. They're in the same building, engaged in the same exact state surveillance and terrorism. I just want to point that out. But I did capture images of this demon. He's standing in directed light. That leaf blower is audible activity. His presence as I'm capturing it is relevant positioning. He is under what is the fake sun at 7:40 a.m. on the side of the Ovitt Family Community Library, where I'm capturing at 5:45 p.m. By the way, the same fake sun on the same side of the Ovitt Family Community Library, just on the opposite side of my person, which is capturing what is absolutely impossible, and it is direct evidence of this person's condition, which is demon possession. All right, it is again monitoring with the airport that's also in the same exact environment, the same exact evidence of demon possession, demons flying planes, stalking. All right, it is again 7:59 a.m. P.O.C. 8SDV661. This demon drives in slow motion as I walk toward the library, and then they cross path, and all the demons that walk in on surveillance camera are monitoring while directed light flashes across the entrance. And I'll show you the fake sun over the entrance of the library. 19379F2 is, 9E2 is part of that same molestation. 6SWS922 is crossing path. 19379E2 is stalking in the path under the fake sun at the Ovitt Family Community Library with their hazards on, and they're a part of that ongoing concerted act of terrorism. Demons that are waiting for me to walk to the entrance of the Ovitt Family Community Library, where directed light is moving across the entrance. I want to be clear: the employees and the demons that are entering inside as the library opens, they're all focused on me as I leave from the side of the library to the front entrance, and then flashing directed light across the entrance of the doorway while all those demons are walking inside of the door. This is the focus that the demon-possessed have on me and what they are engaging in. And that's occurring again right now at what is 10:03 a.m., where the fake sun is, by the way, nowhere near 612 North Vine Avenue, as I took the picture of FedEx that was group stalking, engaging in the same conduct, molesting me with directed light, where I was at Vine Avenue at 10 o'clock, and then I take a picture of the 7-Eleven. This is what I was talking about yesterday. The fake sun's over the entrance of the Ovitt Family Community Library. The same location where it is, by the way, at 5:45 p.m., where this entity is stalking by helicopters. This is P.O.C. All right, and that third party that is crossing path, doing the same thing as 6YBN214, this is a demon. They're going to mental institutions, 4755 5H3. Demons that are engaged in stalking me, waiting for me to walk inside for flashing directed light. They're going into mental institutions. That's how I'm going to prosecute that. This is the terrorism by a bunch of demons stalking me as I walk into the library. But let me get you the minions that are opening the door, including Greg. This is the Caucasian male. He's very loud. He walks around with glasses on. He is monitoring. You've got Mickey. Hi, Mickey. And Jessica and Greg. All right, while that flashing directed light is occurring at the entrance door, they're engaged in terrorism. They're monitoring with those minions that are driving in slow motion at the turn circle. All right, and it is, you've got Gianna at the circulation desk as well. And it is currently, you guys know what time it is? Oh, it's got 10:04 while you guys have directed light on the staircase, and minions are surrounding around the bathroom. Group stalking, these are predators. In directed light. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, and you have them congregating around the bathroom, and these are the demons that are monitoring while the entity flashes with directed light. And you've got demons in the bathroom as well, stalking. Alrighty, it is, again, 10:05 a.m. These are the demons that molest with directed light, and then they're inside of the bathroom stalking. And they are stalking in directed light, which is inside of the bathroom. Again, the sex offenders, that is Jana, that's Greg, Jessica, Mickey, who are opening the doors of the library while flashing directed light is moving across the entrance, and the fake sun is above the entrance, which is an impossible occurrence. Because at the same time, again, when I'm in Rancho Cucamonga, when I'm in Chino, California, when I'm on the bus en route, when I'm at the en route to any venue, when I remain inside of the vehicle, where I was sleeping, when I'm even at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts, when I'm still at the B&G Plaza, the fake sun is over my head at all of those addresses, which is speaking to demons who are engaged in molestation. So those third parties, you understand, that is the psychopath conduct of what is necessary. You're talking about restraining such threats and putting them in mental institutions. They too belong in, as the Ontario Police Department represents. This is state patent material. They belong in state hospitals, mental institutions, including those who stalk in bathrooms. That's a violent sex offender that's molesting with directed light and then walking inside the side of the bathroom, surrounding the bathroom in order to maintain presence on behalf of a police department that's stalking 24 hours a day, as I captured this morning at 12:49 a.m. This is the Ontario Police Department. This is how they remain present in the bathroom, engaging in molestation with directed light with the demon-possessed that are the people of the state. All right, this is documentation of what is federal stalking by an entity inside of the private private space of the bathroom at Ovid Family Community Library. These are the sex offenders that will be going into mental institutions, sitting at the circulation desk. They're fully engaged in that ongoing molestation. These are demons that are plotting together as I take step by step, all right? Engaging in invasion of privacy while my panties are down in the bathroom, molesting with directed light, and then walking in the bathroom to continue stalking and surrounding you. This is the demon which you're listening to in the background, using the toilet paper rolls, audible activity. Flushing the toilet, audible activity. If they even wash their filthy hands, it's audible activity. Everything is noise and engineered light, just like the tree trimmers under the fake sun and directed light. All right, this is the sex offense. It is currently 10:07 a.m. This is P.O.C. All right, you're looking at a demon that is walking in the restroom. This Caucasian female, she has a monitoring spirit on her. This is demonic activity. She's engaging in demonic activity with children. Children are present. They're talking. They're moving around. They're doing so in engineered light. This is the maintenance of noise and engineered light. Sexually violating another in a private space in concert with the sex offenders that you see at the circulation desk, all of them under the fake sun, and doing so while also aware of the fact that they're being documented. And this is the Ontario Police Department that is obsessively stalking. This is how all those facts work together. The Ontario Police Department are stalking ceaselessly, directly, as you see, by helicopter at 10:22 at night, at 12:49 in the morning. The entity is engaging in what is stalking in a bathroom. They are continuously group stalking and doing so in what is a private space, which is an entirely demented sex offense. And they're doing so while they are molesting with directed light as I walk in. They are intentionally congregated around the bathroom. They are in directed light congregated around a bathroom. These are the demon possessed that are very, very highly demented predatory actors, and they're maintaining presence in the event that I walk inside of that bathroom. And then you have a demon that's in position, a demon that's in a bathroom stall, creating audible activity with the intent to monitor you, and doing so on behalf of the Ontario Police Department. Again, those demons that are very highly obsessed, and that obsession follows into that private space. The Ontario International Airport that's pacing over the 280 North Limit Apartments are monitoring while the entity enters inside of the private space. And this is what I was pointing out while I was documenting. This is what the entity is doing inside of the library all day long. You have a bunch of demons who are not only hostile that you document them, they engage in more of the pattern of conduct, which is serving for what is evidence as to where it is that they belong. Group stalkers will be put in mental institutions. Group stalkers will be put in federal prison. Group stalkers will be plagued with what is a very serious criminal record as a matter of what is federal law, which will have reverberating repercussions, speaking to, again, what you're looking at, the sex offenders that they are, the terrorists that they are, the threat to the public that they are, the predators that they are, engaging in that conduct. And that is literally, again, molesting with directed light as you're walking inside of the venue, and then walking into the bathroom. That demon walks into a bathroom and is continuously monitoring. All right, that's literally what the entity engages in. It's currently 10:14 a.m. and that's the documentation of the entity. The Ovid Family Community Library is a facilitating venue where that fake sun remains for the duration of the day. All you're doing is paying attention. At 5:45 p.m., that fake sun is at that same corner where the Ontario Police Department is flying over my head at 5:45. I reminded you about this video as I published it in concert with my video of the Ontario Police Department flying over me at 10:06 in the morning. Recall my documentation where I'm showing you the same conduct at 5:45 in the afternoon. The fake sun is over that same corner of that library. This is where demons are molesting me with directed light while all of them are concentrated on me. They're standing at the door. The demons that are Jessica, Greg, Jana, and Mickey open the door. They wait to open the door, which is, again, the third parties are then walking into the doors. Group stalkers are crossing path very slowly in their vehicles, waiting for me to get to a specific position. Flashing directed light moves across while all those demons are at the same time crossing path, entering inside of the venue. The fake sun is over the same corner of the venue that I'm capturing at 5:45 p.m. This is speaking to what's not the sun. This is speaking to demons who are surrounding. This is speaking to what is also demons while directed light is occurring. And as I've already shown, first of all, directed light is a fact. I've already established it. And also directed light is occurring where the fake sun is present. It is also occurring at nightfall. So it has nothing to do with the sun, but it is coexisting in that specific environment. This is occurring as I'm walking inside of the entrance. This is terrorism that the Ovid Family Community Library is engaging in. And that's exactly what the focus is. They're engaged in surveillance and terrorism for the duration of the day. And all these demons do is sit around making noise in every method that they have at their disposal while they're entirely focused on me. What I'm doing online, what I'm doing physically, where I am physically. That person of that condition in a bathroom is a sex offense, a terrorizing one, okay? And it is currently, again, 10:16 a.m., and this is P.O.C. Oh, hey. Oh, okay, I just didn't know who hit my chair.
Oh, I don't.
Yeah, you hit my chair. It's okay, though. And you're also molesting with directed light. This is JFed engaging in a sex offense, and this is harassment by demons. They don't accidentally hit you. They don't accidentally drop anything. They're doing everything intentionally in directed light. That's harassment. And doing so, hitting anything that's attached to your person is a battery. Just want to let you know. It's not an ordinary battery. It's a battery by a demon-possessed entity engaged in federal stalking with the Ontario Police Department, who are engaged in routinely harassing with that agency, who flies over their venue on an ongoing basis by helicopter to further threaten. So I want to be clear, that is JFed, an employee who was monitoring. He's also a sex offender, monitoring while my panties are down, stalking in the bathroom. He is the same entity that is present in that directed light inside of that venue, molesting me with directed light upon my entry, surrounding the bathroom as I walk inside of there for purposes of their demonic crossing of path conduct in directed light, and also monitoring while my panties are down in the bathroom. It's P.O.C. Okay, JFed's engaged in criminal summoning. Sirens sound inside of the library, which is amplified audible activity, while I start recording. So I also want to document this demon that's sitting at... Oh, you needed help? Did you ask JFed for help? Is he coming to help you? Yeah, this minion, you see, he's pacing back and forth on number 16. He's pacing back and forth, and he's molesting each time he does so. And this is a psychopath. This is a demon. Do not be distracted by how old he is or how wretched his face looks. He's engaging in molestation while he is maintaining awareness of what I'm publishing on the internet. This is a Caucasian male, appears to have like a physical disability. This has nothing to do with what is demonic conduct. He is pacing around in demonic light and molesting my person. So his shadow is moving forward across the desk, touching me. Every time he's going to what is JFed, another demon who's monitoring with him, asking for help and walking back to his computer, number 16, molesting each time while he's witnessing what I'm uploading on the internet. This is when these demons are triggered by what I publish online, okay? How do they show hostility? Molesting. How do they show hostility? Stalking with helicopters. How do they show hostility? Stalking with noise, shaking the desk, which is demonic activity in the prosecution for what is harassment by the demon possessed. This is the conduct where you will sit in mental institutions where the demon possessed belong, by the way. This is a closeted population of closeted psychopaths who are very much a threat to the safety of American citizens while they're placing them under surveillance, and that secret system is no longer concealed. This is underway at Ovid Family Community Library. I want to be clear, Jana and JFed and Jessica and Carlos and Greg and Mickey, they're engaged in that molestation together. They're minions that are acting together. So they're sex offenders. They love to touch on me. They have no consent to touch on me, and they also have no business stalking. That's the unprecedented sex offense by a demon sitting at computer number 16. That's what they're all doing. All right, they're engaging in demonic activity under the guise of, oh, I'm doing this and oh, I'm doing that, and I'm not aware of the fact that the sun remains over this address all day long, and I don't even hear any helicopters flying over, and it just so happens to be sirens and flashing light inside of the venue. Light stays over the elevator case and the stairs all day long. You're supposed to be ignorant of that, and of course, demons don't notice it while they're monitoring and molesting you. All right, that sex offender is captured in still images. It's 11:22 a.m. P.O.C. All right, I just want to add, again, this is JFed that's engaging in a battery. All right, this is a demon in directed light, and your shadow is not on the ground. Your shadow is moving across my desk, which is swiping across my person, which a demon has no consent to touch. It's not an accident when they're also hitting something attached to your person. Dropping things is noise. Demons are acting intentional in an intentional, deliberately maintained environment. And JFed participates in ongoing molestation while he is also pacing in the hallway. All of this is on surveillance cameras. So I'm just giving you an ongoing tutorial. Surveillance cameras are additional documentation that belongs to the target individual who's going to prosecute the state. And you're looking at demonic pacing and directed light, as I've shown you the ongoing context as to what demons are doing and the identification of demons, because you know the environment. So when you're looking at surveillance cameras, you're looking at what are demons that are pacing around in that light that you are aware of is present because I have exposed it. So I want to be clear, the entity is engaging, and that entity is specifically JFed with these other minions that are pacing around, and I believe the entity is engaging in this ongoing pacing following my documentation. So these are psychopaths. They listen to me document, and then they do more of it, and then they listen to me document, and then they do more of it. It's not funny. It's pathetic. That's what I'm laughing at. Remember, this is very serious. I'm advocating on behalf of the targeted individual, okay? This is the conduct, again, while you are engaged. That's the voice of JFed. I want to be clear. This is a demon.
All right.
All right, so this minion is pacing behind me, and their shadow, again, is rising above onto the desk to swipe across me. What's going on outside? The same conduct, molesting with what is directed light that's somehow like a laser shooting across doorways as I'm walking into it in order to touch with light. This is what demons do. This is why, this is terrorism, okay? Because this is conduct that the ordinary target individual is never supposed to be able to prove. You're supposed to be written off as a crazy person when you're talking about things such as what is a sun remaining over your head all day, following you around, and light that's just appearing out of nowhere. And of course, a demon is going to be like, oh, really? And they're going to write that up and diagnose you in order for you to be kidnapped in a facilitating venue that's called a mental ward or a hospital. That's how the pattern of conduct works. This is how corruption is, and this is what the state of California, every hospital, every venue, because that's what they are in the state of California. These are venues. The state of California is corrupt. They're placing American citizens under surveillance. That's the big picture. What I want to specifically document is that this is speaking to what is the intent to further sexually violate while you are fully cognizant of the fact that you're being documented. Okay? And following that documentation that I just uploaded seconds later, you got demons that, and this is what they're doing all day long, but I want to specifically document it because I'm going to use this, and you're going to sit in a straitjacket. By virtue of engagement in this pattern of conduct. Now, I also want to be clear what you're outlining with regard to the demon-possessed population that are going to find themselves in federal prison across this country and in mental institutions where they belong because they're terrorizing American citizens and doing so in a malicious manner with the government, which is supposed to be concealed. This is a whole system that was never supposed to be revealed. Understand that. And the entity is engaging in conduct which is necessary with regard to the way in which you punish it. Going around touching people with this demonic light is something where you're going to lock those sort of psychopaths and sex offenders away, okay? Where they cannot harm and terrorize and group stalk anymore. Let them, with the rest of those demons, sit in their cells or sit in their little white-walled rooms, okay, and play directed light laser tag with each other, okay, because they're psychos. That's where they belong. That's what they're doing, trying to terrorize and molest someone else. Those sort of psychopaths, you're going to pluck them from the public. They're doing it right now with impunity. All right, walking around in a venue, because that's what it is. You're not on the job. You're a facilitating venue. You're pacing around, and you're doing it to the wrong person because I'm going to prosecute you with this very conduct, speaking to the intent with which you continuously engage in that which is a sex offense. Understand it's demonic activity. How are you going to prosecute Satan? Touching you. They're still touching you, albeit a demonic method. It is no less of a violation of a person, not only physically, but mentally, okay? It's a violation of your person. It's entirely disturbing. It's also that which you're supposed to not even be able to ever prove. That in and of itself is malicious. All right, so anyway, I just want to make sure I point that out. It's 11:28 a.m. You've got J Fed. He likes to touch on me, so I'm going to make sure I prosecute him with that. This is P.O.C. This is activity creation in the bathroom where this demon is stalking in directed light. And I want to be clear, demons that know what you're doing in the restroom intend to sexually offend as they wait until the moment that your genitalia is exposed to cross path in the restroom, which is what this demon is doing. In relevant position under the fake sun and in directed light, where a fake sun remains over the window of the elevator where these demons are pacing all around me all day long. And this is also the sex offender that knows that they're being documented. Again, this is the entity that's what's represented by this demon-possessed female who enters the women's restroom with the intent to place another under surveillance, engaged in what is demonic and criminal monitoring. And again, demons who already know what you're doing, the moment that they engage in it, it's with knowledge. So this is with the intent to sexually offend. Not that there's any point in which you are present or entering or exiting, that it is less of a sex offense. But let me be clear what demons' intentions are to sexually offend. In other words, as you are pulling your panties down, then crossing path and making noise in the bathroom with the intent to monitor you. And that's what this entity is engaging in. It is currently 12:25 p.m. P.O.C. Okay, you're going to pay attention to the images captured at 12:29 p.m. This is the people of the state sending in minors to engage in the same conduct. They're creating activity and doing so for that ongoing, again, predatory purpose, group stalking in the bathroom, while demons are in relevant position monitoring to that. Sex offenders. Alrighty, and this is the entity that's sending in minor children while they know that they're being documented. They're pacing all around. You see the engineered light on the elevator. They all have multiple shadows while they're walking around, sending in kids in the bathroom for purposes of monitoring while they have their communication devices. And this is the Ontario Police Department utilizing children, the people of the state utilizing children to engage in that sex offense. And how do you flip that P.O.C. where the entity is engaging in defaming you, calling you what is a sex offender as you document that pattern of conduct? They engage in terrorism and sexual violence via those under the age of majority. And that's how you're understanding what demons engage in. Alrighty, I'm capturing images of those sex offenders. And again, as I documented this morning in direct light, page 1 cafe remains in relevant position monitoring while the entity is sending in minors under the age of majority to create activity. Hello. I'm just wondering, do you have any ice? Do you sell ice? A cup of ice?
Yeah, I do.
Alrighty, showing you what's relevant positioning inside a Page Cafe where they're selling a cup of ice for $2.50. That's what many of those group stalking using the leaf blower this morning. This is the maintenance of that light source that's at the entrance. As these group stalking using a leaf blower, remember that's noise and engineered light under the fake sun. Where it's at the Page 1 Cafe end. Right now it's at the entrance end of the same venue. And these are minions that are inside of that cafe with their communication devices, and they are sex offenders monitoring via children who are creating noise in the bathroom. Okay, and as soon as I document it, again, what the previous minion was doing, entering in with real-time knowledge of the fact that your genitalia is exposed, whatever private activity you're engaging in with the intent to sexually offend, that this is when children enter in and they're loudly singing. And this is an entity that engages in this sort of conduct. It's demons who are engaging in something that's like a futile attempt at some sort of retaliation or some sort. You document the fact that you're a sex offender. I'm documenting you, and you're going to be prosecuted for it, and the entity engages in more of it. Like the Ontario Police Department, fully documented engaging in what is group stalking. There is no way that you're winning as you use another helicopter and fly over me again, showing that you are indeed the stalker that the documentation has already established as you clearly are a stalker, all right, and a demon-possessed one. But I want to be clear, this is what the entity's pattern of conduct, this is the personality of Satan. That's the personality of Satan. And so the entity engages in that sort of conduct, and that is to its own demise. Those third parties are entering in the name of the people of the state, sending in minors. They're engaging in the same conduct, movement in engineered light and audible activity in engineered light. I still went downstairs for no reason. So this is what you're seeing in the same exact elements of monitoring. Alrighty, this is P.O.C. You got a whole bunch of demons just maintaining presence inside of the venue. The one that you see, this is on number 4. All right, what number is this? They're all on surveillance cameras, which I'm referencing. This minion is on number 6. You got a minion sitting at the 15-minute express with his communication device. Right, you have J-Fed that's monitoring as well. These are all the demons that also want to touch on me while they're pacing in through this computer lab, which is filled with directed light, which I've captured tons of video showing the multiple shadows. And that's what they're doing. The shadows move from supposedly what's the ground, then all of a sudden it's swiping across my desk. Okay, the desk where I'm sitting at, that's impossible light activity. While they are engaging in what is a sex offense, let me tell you how you're going to prosecute a sex offense by the demon possessed. The same logic you're going to apply. It is a sex offense, albeit demonic methods. You are engaging in a sex offense, participating in it, facilitating it with children. Okay, it is as sick, if not sicker, because this is satanic methods to do so. Not only to engage in stalking in a private space, you're a bunch of demons that already know what's going on. You're dealing with Satan. You're also dealing with what are the facilitation of that same demonic and criminal system on behalf of, again, a corrupt police department is monitoring while the entity sends in minors. The Ontario Police Department is monitoring to that. A whole venue is filled with demons who are monitoring to that. They all know what I'm doing in the bathroom, and they are following in, and they are doing it literally as I utter syllables, engaging and repeating that conduct. And so that is that despicable and very disgusting type of conduct. This is speaking to, again, as I've already shown, the people of the state and the threat that they pose even to the children with whom they're monitoring. They're teaching them in the ways of, showing them in the ways of Satan how you're terrorizing, because that's what group stalking is. This is what 325 West G Street is doing. She is molesting with directed light while she is merely getting out of her vehicle, but yet I'm being accosted with directed light inside of the car. It's impossible. impossible light activity, and I'm capturing images of her getting out of her vehicle, which is crossing path, and she is doing so with a minor child, and they're engaging in demonic conduct, and she's holding the hand, I'm figuratively speaking, holding the hand of her minor age son while she's doing that. Okay, that's very sick and demented. In addition to that, you're engaging in what is terrorism, which is a threat to the safety of those children. One should not expect that a targeted individual, you don't know what a targeted individual is going through in their mind state while you're targeting them. You're stalking them. The police are threatening them. People of the state are threatening them. They're subject to physical violence. They're subject to all manner of injustices through the system that they're subject to. And you're going to send your child to terrorize them. Not only you're talking about one that's in a target individual that may be in the process of documentation, or one that is not. And so you are fully placing that child in harm's way. It is also a terrorizing and a dangerous environment where group stalking is underway. It's an entirely unsafe environment for those children, which you are sending them in, and you're doing so with the intent to terrorize and monitor another person, which is a threat to their life. Okay, helicopters chasing you, airplanes chasing all that, that's a real threat to your life. So I'm just speaking to what are the psychopaths, and the pattern of conduct is such that you are the one that is targeted further, whereby, again, but for documentation, I've shown you what the P.O.C. and what these demons do, but how does the pattern of conduct what do these demons intend? That somehow you are a sex offender while they are engaged in the pattern of conduct, engaged in that sex offense. This is how Satan is lying. All right, and so this is exactly what's documented on June 16, 2022, except for the fact that I wasn't in the bathroom. But you have the false allegations by these demons in the specific environment, all right, waging false allegations and doing so with the demons that are stalking day and night the Ontario Police Department, including by helicopter on June 16, 2022, while they are exercising fictitious authority, even by their presence, and even by the ongoing assault and battery, which was an arrest and a kidnapping, all right? And then you're talking about going through the system, a corrupt system. The court is corrupt. The sheriff's department is corrupt, all right? So this is how that starts, though, and this is, again, what the ordinary target individual is subject to, while a bunch of demons just want to stalk you in the bathroom. And that's exactly their obsession. And sending in children to do so, that is something that needs to be addressed under federal law. That's something that needs to be assessed with regard to the mind state of those that would engage in, because what they're doing is not concealed. So I'm breaking down for you what these demons are doing, what your intent is necessarily and reasonably assessed as when you're engaging in that, because it's nothing but the P.O.C. That's why directed light is present. All right, that's why the fake suns remain, as I capture on, look at my website today. I'm just giving you images of July 23rd. The fake sun's over the same window that is over this morning at 10:04 a.m. Well, at 3:40 p.m. on July 23rd, I took a picture of the same window above the staircase. And what do you see? Pray tell. You see the same fake sun that's over that same window. An impossible occurrence. Impossible. This is the environment where they're sending in children to create ongoing activity creation while they know that you are actively documenting it. I mean, literally following immediately after documenting it, sending in more minions under the age of majority to continuously engage in that monitoring conduct, which is the personality of Satan. All right, to its own demise. Stalking repeatedly with helicopters, you are not proving any point. You're certainly not winning when you are fully and continuously demonstrating that you are unstable, a demon-possessed group stalker who's going to sit in a facility such as Patton State Hospital, because that's where the Ontario Police Department are headed, in addition to federal prison. All right. It is currently 12:38 p.m. and this is documentation of federal stalking by an entity doing so with minions under the age of majority. This is at Ovid Family Community Library, where the entity keeps the fake sun for the duration of the day. This is P.O.C. Alrighty, capturing images of the demons, and these are literally demons. They're walking by and their shadows are swiping across the top of the desk. 19379E2 is back again. This was the sex offender documented earlier this morning, back under what is the same exact fake sun, the identification of a demon. This is also impunity, as I'm documenting your group stalking again and again. That's grounds of federal prison, okay? They're doing so while they're driving up, and directed light is across the sidewalk. That's impossible light activity. And demons inside are molesting while their shadow is literally flying across a desk while they're pacing all around. And I took images of these, you're looking at what are the demon possessed that are group stalking inside of a venue. 19379E2 is going to federal prison. All right. Engaging what is ongoing terrorism. I want to be clear. Why is it federal prison? Because this is how a government is placing you under surveillance. You have the demon possessed who go to any length to continue stalking you, and they have no lawful right to do so. And they are doing so in your face. That's an unlawful threat on behalf of the state. The state, by the way, that's stalking you day and night by helicopter. How do you respond to such demons? How do you respond to such a threat? You put that threat in federal prison. Okay. And this is again 19379E2. Alrighty, and this was the same sex offender 7HPX573 molesting me with directed light while another demon drives by. All those demons that were plotting this morning as I'm walking from the side and I can't even walk to a building without being touched with directed light, that demon is going to federal prison. That's called impunity. You are addressing impunity with time in federal prison. You are also addressing what are psychopaths who have a tendency to touch on your person, like these demons captured in images. I want you to look at, I'm not going to delete them because there's this lily white minion with, I think she has red glasses on. She's sitting at the computer directly across from me. So I was sitting at number 14. So I'm guessing this is number 15. Nonetheless, you're going to pay attention to it's 4:05 p.m. I walked out the fake sun over the same entrance. Okay. This is what I took a picture of at 10:04 a.m. That same third party molesting me with directed light with the other one that's trying to speed off, and he's doing the same thing with his hazard lights on. The fake sun's over the same entrance. Okay. It's over the corner of the building. I'm standing at the entrance. It's right over my head. An impossible occurrence while you are stalking with light activity, amplified audible activity, Union Pacific prosecutor for that. That's civil and criminal prosecution. While demons are inside of the library, pacing back and forth, repeatedly and intentionally touching me. I am the focus, by the way, and you are the focus amongst demons who are in that specific environment. Okay, you are engaging in what is group stalking by sitting at whatever it is that the venue has that you're supposed to be focused on. So if it's a grocery store, demons are stalking you while they want to appear as though they're focused on buying groceries. If you are at the skating rink, demons are stalking you while acting as though they're focused on skating at that venue. All right. If you are a police department, demons are stalking you while outwardly conducting themselves as though they're engaging in some lawful duty related to being a police officer. They are all doing it in a specific environment, an environment that is literally a scientific impossibility. All right. This is what the system of group stalking is. It's public corruption, and it's in plain sight. All right. Now, what's going on in a library? You're looking at what is, I believe this is Allie, but it's an overweight minion. She's crossing path. She is dropping books on, using the bookcase, first of all, as noise as I'm walking toward the entrance where the fake sun is over the same entrance. This is a demon that is not accidentally dropping books. That's what you'll see on the floor. Demons don't drop things accidentally. They're stalking with noise. They're maintaining activity around me where they have multiple shadows, okay? Pacing all around. And minions are doing so in that specific environment. Where, again, as I'm capturing, what am I capturing this morning? I was here before 8 o'clock this morning. You saw that demon with the leaf blower, the fake sun over 215 E.C. Street, page 1 cafe end. And what am I capturing at 4:05 p.m.? I'm going to put those images side to side for you so you can see that as well. That is capturing, this is capturing what is the secrets that are the demon possessed. The demon possessed, they are learning about what their destination shall be as they want to terrorize American citizens, and it shall be, and what are facilitating venues, which is currently corrupt. Okay, this is a good thing about, this is Providence, as Patton State Hospital law enforcement were group stalking yesterday. What's the providence of that? Because I'm speaking the truth to you. They're group stalking. That's why they were crossing paths with the Ontario Police Department under the fake sun on Hope Boulevard yesterday morning. They didn't have to cross path in order for that venue in San Bernardino, which is Patton State Hospital, to be a facilitating venue. Patton State Hospital, mental hospital, that's a facilitating venue. It's in San Bernardino, California. Not only have I documented San Bernardino, but you're talking about what I've already established. The pattern of conduct is the pattern of conduct of the state of California. This is not the natural environment. This is not sunlight. These are not normal people. And this is not limited to the Inland Empire. Okay, that's how you know that Patton State Hospital is a facilitating venue. In addition to the fact that Patton State Hospital police were group stalking, as I documented them yesterday, with the Ontario Police Department, literally by connection. That's incriminating. Okay, the Ontario Police Department. But anyway, that's not what you're relying on when you're prosecuting group stalking, but you're talking about having such the absence of any credibility. It's literally by connection. It's criminal conduct. It's group stalking where the Ontario police are involved. So anyway, the entity is engaging in what is putting the fake sun over 215 East C Street, and it's 4:05 p.m. And you already know the entity keeps the fake sun even after 4:05 p.m. I'm capturing it over the parking garage on family night when these demons are engaged in the same pattern of conduct. 6:40 p.m. It's over the same venue. It's over the same exact address. And where am I? This is what I pointed out to you. Well, I didn't point it out because it's already been pointed out. I highlighted it again for you on my website, thepatternofconduct.wordpress.com. The Ontario Museum of History and Arts, just like I pointed out, which is south of this address. It's 225 South Euclid Avenue in Ontario, California, people. 215 East C Street in Ontario, California is the Ovid Family Community Library. It's literally a hop, skip, and a jump over Hope Boulevard in the direction north, where the entity is keeping a fake sun in the direction north from that property where I got up this morning. And the entity, which I captured the fake sun, to the Ovid Family Community Library, where it is still present right now. That in and of itself, the P.O.C, an impossible occurrence. Where that demon whose license plate I captured this morning, molesting with directed light, you have the audacity to not only engage in it, but be documented engaging in it again. That is federal prison. I don't need the Ontario Police Department to, again, fly over me by helicopter for you to sit in federal prison, because that's where he's going. And it's already established, by the way, that your group stalking with the Ontario Police Department. Okay, their obsessive stalking activity is already established as a matter of fact. All right, and this is what the demon possessed are doing. That third party knows exactly what I'm doing. It's not a coincidence that they are under a fake sun that has been present since after 7 o'clock this morning at the same exact address, and crossing path and maintaining presence under that same fake sun, which would never understand. That's the direct evidence of a demon. Being a demon is legally relevant when you are stalking. You are stalking on behalf of the state. The state of California, the public entity, employs demons to terrorize and monitor you. That is prosecuted as terrorism, and you will spend time in federal prison, especially as you demonstrate through your conduct, communicate an impermissible threat. Understand, this is a term of art, okay? This is addressed in what is the policy that I advocate, that is on my website right now with regard to what is additional federal legislation dealing with what is a reality, demonic activity, which is a criminal system of monitoring, what the state of California is engaging in. Demons that are stalking and touching and monitoring as the state. They're not present on any individual basis. That demon, Allie, I believe that's Allie, but it's a state actor nonetheless. I didn't look at her too closely. I captured what is the P.O.C. though. This demon is dropping books as though she accidentally dropped it. There are no accidents in directed light, okay? There's no accident under the fake sun that's remaining 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 hours later. There's no accidents under a fake sun that's remaining at 9 hours at the same address. That's only moving in the direction north to remain over the same address where I've been since 7. That's going from the Ontario Museum of History and Arts to the direction north to the Ovid Family Community Library. There's no coincidences where the police are stalking. There's no coincidence where the entity is stalking by planes. All right, that's the P.O.C. That's a psychopath that's engaging in that pattern of conduct, though, however. That's why they're going to sit in mental institutions. That's called malice. It's called malice. All right? It is currently 4:14 p.m. And I want to be clear, I have captured the faces of the demon possessed. Those are terrorists. Those are violent sex offenders, highly demented and unstable group stalking servants of Satan. But with regard to legally, they are servants of both Satan and the state the state of California that's entirely corrupt. The state of California is engaging in what is supposed to be a secret society type of monitoring system, and they have failed in every regard in that endeavor, as I have not only exposed it, but I have literally not only exposed it, but my intent is to just blow it to smithereens. Because this is part of a goal, because it's so wicked, it's so despicable, it's so disgusting, all right? And to think that the entity sought to perpetrate this against me, all right? And for no just reason. There is no, I want to be clear, even if you are a bad person, the government doesn't have a right to place you under surveillance. But you're doing it against those who are of the light. That's even more nauseating. So yes, it happened to me for a reason. Because not only am I going to expose it, but the purpose is that everybody, every single last person in the world may know the truth. This is relevant to your everyday life. It's also relevant to what's going to be real life legislation in the United States, at least, for how to conquer evil. Now, with regard to law and prosecution and the court system, we may not use those sort of terms, but this is combating what is very much evil, and it's criminal. That's how we're going to address it in the tribunals. It's criminal. All right, but a lot of that which is criminal is rooted to evil. This is public corruption, and it is born of what is satanic. Born of what is satanic, and like I stated very long ago when I started documenting, it is not impervious to prosecution. Satan is not impervious to prosecution. Satan is not hiding amongst a group of people. I'll name you. I'll identify your company. I'll prosecute you civilly and criminally. I will remove everything that you seek to hide behind. In other words, and I will drag you. I will drag you and make an example out of you and enable any other ordinary American citizen whom you do not need to have a legal, you do not need to have a law degree. You don't need to have experience in the legal profession. You don't even have to have a lawyer, okay? Because you cannot, in this day and age, you're dealing with what are it's literally what this is spiritual warfare. But let me tell you how the end, we're going to skip right to the end. Satan loses, okay? Darkness loses. Darkness never wins, contrary to any movies that you see where they like to switch around fate. That's not how it works. And this is what you're witnessing right now. Satan already lost a long time ago. What's going on now in time is you're witnessing nothing but a process. You're just witnessing it in time. The conclusion has already occurred. Satan lost. Okay? And when I say they're going to mental institutions, that's exactly what I mean. That's exactly where they're going. They're going to sit in federal prison. They will have nothing to do with whatever industry it is that they pose a threat to the public, because what they are and what they're doing is no longer concealed. These are indeed ticking time bombs, and it is necessary for such a time as this that the world be made that the world be made aware of it. All right? It's not just about me. And it never was about me. It happened to me in order that everyone else would be informed about it. That's why it happened to me. Okay. But like I said, even if you were a bad person, whatever you consider a bad person, I'm not here judging people. I'm calling out evil for what it is. And I don't care what your name is. I don't care what your race is. You know them by their deeds. And I'm not discriminating on what you look like or what your language is. I'm judging you based on what you are exhibiting. And that's not an unrighteous judgment, just so that you know that. It is what it is, in other words. It is exactly what it is. You are what you do, and you cannot lie about it. It's not about perfection. You are harboring wicked in your heart. You can't hide that from me or God, whatever you deem to be some deity above you. You can't hide that. And with regard to the P.O.C, you will be prosecuted for it. All right, you're not able to get away with this sort of wicked conduct. You're not going to get away with it in a court. You're not going to get away with it under the law. And this is entirely sick conduct. And that's what Satan is, in case you did not know. Satan is of that which is demented. Satan is of that which is entirely dark. Satan is of that which is of secrecy. All right. And I want to also point something out to you, and I'm not going to expound upon it, but I want to be clear. This is not any exception with regard to those who are celebrities, those who are famous. I just want to let you know, if you pay attention, you'll see the same fake sun over them. Okay, you'll see what is pacing conduct. You'll see them on their TV show. They're in directed light. All right. I just want to be clear. It's revealing a lot to you at one time as I'm documenting and publishing my documentation. This is not just about a prosecution. It's bigger than that. It's about life. It's about what's going on. And this is real life. OK, but like I said, the tools that you have, the knowledge, the skill set that you are gaining as you're witnessing the exposure of the P.O.C, the pattern of conduct, it's revealing what people cannot hide from you anymore. They can't hide from you. They can't not hide it anymore. And let me be clear, Satan's minions do not want to be found out. They do not want to be found out. Believe me, they don't. But let me be clear, those that need to be found out, they're going to be found out in the federal court. I'm telling all those secrets because I'm going to use them against you. I'm going to prosecute you. All right. So with regard to that, those are demons that you're looking at close-up images. You'll see Satan trying to hide its face. Those demons. And this is what's so funny. You're in there. You're stalking me. Everything you're doing is about me. You're engaging in what I will term shadow slinging. OK, you're in there slinging your shadow around, Satan. And then you want to be bashful and don't want to be documented. All right. And you're really hostile. What you really do, you're sitting there contemplating how you're going to retaliate. Everything that you do. You know why they got let me show. I gave you more analysis, which you'll see on my website. So I'll remind you about what these demons are and what they're doing. This little ambush with directed light while I'm walking inside of the library this morning. You know why? I'll let you know about what is the mindset of demons. They know exactly what I publish on my website, on my podcast, when I'm documenting the demons that are the Ontario Police Department. And I'm telling you what the Ontario Police are doing in directed light with the helicopter. That's exactly what these demons are doing all day long in a library in directed light. They're just doing it on foot. They're pacing around, stalking with audible and visible activity. Movement in directed light is visible activity. Okay, the entity is engaging in what is pacing all around me in directed light all day long. That's what the demons of the Ontario Police Department are doing in a helicopter in directed light, which you see across the face of the museum. Absolutely impossible light, inexplicable light. You just see light around on that wall. There's no light that's going to create that. There are no lights in that center courtyard. It's impossible light activity. It is the demonstration of demon possession, literally while I'm catching what is facially criminal. Police departments don't have any business following you around in a helicopter. Okay, but there's even more to that. And let me be clear, Satan would like it if you miss the point. If you miss the point and just fine them for following American citizens around, let's say because I'm a black woman and they're racial profiling and that's why they're following me around in a helicopter, you would have missed the point. And let me be clear, Satan would like for you to do that. Make it anything about that other than what is the real core issue. This is darkness, spiritual darkness. This is satanic. It's monitoring by a population that are of that condition. Satan would rather you think that it's racial profiling, that I'm being targeted because I'm a black woman, and that it has to do with everything other than that somebody lied on me, and then they started some fake investigation, and the police might have even been mistaken. They don't know. They just continued investigating even though it was outside of the bound. You can come up with all kinds of false narratives. Satan is a liar, and this is the reality, and this is why you're showing what's the whole P.O.C. They're under a fake sun. So reconcile this environment while they're stalking me in helicopters day and night. Reconcile this directed light and this fake sun, and at nightfall, a fake moon. All of it, it's over me. The center of the universe, you would think, around me. Okay? While they're stalking me day and night by a helicopter. The light activity inside of the Ovid Family Community Library. They are demons with multiple shadows. Also engaging in what is the sex offense of slinging your shadow around to touch me. Okay? And that's your obsession. You have an issue with that. You'll be prosecuted as the sex offender that you are. A very demented one. And that's a criminal record that you're going to have to deal with because you're going to have an issue in a lot of ways in your life with that sort of criminal record. And it's just speaking the truth about what you are and what you did. All right. So if the entity is engaging in this conduct and the Open Family Community Library, these demons engaging in what is this ambush with directed light while the fake sun's over me, which is why I take a picture of it. And I'll show you 7 hours later that it's in the same spot. Okay, ongoing corroboration, which I don't need because I've already established the P.O.C, but I'll show you what's the consistency of my documentation of demons that are obsessively stalking me and harassing because they're mad as I continuously reveal them. And guess what? The reason why that's to their demise, because I sit back and I'm going to document you and you're going to go in a mental institution for that. You're going to go to federal prison for that. Who do you think you're retaliating against, Satan? You already lost. You already lost. So while I'm documenting this third party who was again arriving at 4:05 p.m. under the fake sun that's at the same entrance of the Ovid Family Community Library at 215 E.C. Street in Ontario, California, he is sealing his fate further for what is ongoing evidence, which he can in no way reconcile, and which no federal court is going to ignore my argument and my ability to capture what is the pattern of conduct and speak to what is necessary as a matter of justice, having been subject to this inhumane criminal system by a government that sought to get away with it and silence me. You're going to sit in a mental institution because I said so. That's where you're going. All right, so the entity is engaging in this, and they're doing so while they're listening. This is Sharon. This is Securitas, Audible Activity, and Direct Light. So the entity is engaging in this conduct because they know exactly what I document on my podcast, and that's the fact that they are pacing around all day long inside of the library, which is exactly what the Ontario Police Department is doing with a helicopter, day and night. All right, during the day, you're seeing what's directed light. I've got hundreds. Hi, Sharon. How's it going? Hi. I'm well. I'm excellent. So the entity is engaging in what is the pattern of conduct, and these demons having specific knowledge of exactly what I said about them. Look at my video, listen to my podcast last night. I mentioned the Open Family Community Library. I'm documenting these demons every day, but I'm just letting you know I'm familiar with what are the evil deeds, the evil intentions of the demon possessed of Satan itself. Satan engages in this conduct and it's to his demise. Satan is a loser. So you'll engage in trying to retaliate against the one who has already decreed what your future is going to be, what your punishment is going to be. And that's exactly what they engaged in today. Engaging in what is showing hostility. You go right on ahead because that's the evidence of a psychopath. And all those license plates I read, all the pictures of these third parties inside of this venue, all right? And these employees are state actors. Technically, again, I'm just classifying the entity that's talking on behalf of the state because the Ovid Family Community Library is technically the city of Ontario. And so I'm treating that with regard to prosecution as a state facilitating venue. All right, so employees are state actors. The people of the state that are literally just here engaging in surveillance, because that's all you're doing in directed light. You can check out a book all you want. You can hold the hand of your little children that you're using to create activity and terrorize with, all you want, because all of that's going to be relevant to the way you're prosecuted, all of it. You don't have any First Amendment rights. And what's the purpose of that as well? First of all, you are addressing what's public corruption. And you will in every way deter. You don't want to lose your kids. I suggest you keep them home when you want to engage in group stalking. But that is, if you don't want to sit in a mental institution and lose them still, or don't want to go to federal prison, I suggest you stay far away. You're captured in irrelevant positioning, and I don't care if you live there, because this is what the government is doing. And you don't have a legal argument. That's how you are necessarily attacking this satanic system where the entity thought that you could exploit against the liberty rights. You don't have any First Amendment rights to group stalk on behalf of the state. You don't have any rights as the state feigning, exercising fictitious authority. Satan's playing dress up and thinking nobody's ever going to find out. That's literally what these psychopaths are doing. So anyway, I just want to be clear on that. That's what that was about. That's why they're waiting, driving in slow motion. Oh, she's coming. She's walking down. All right, she's about to turn right now. This is literally what these minions are doing. And then as those the demons open the door, that was Mickey, Jessica, Greg, that was Jana. You have Japheth. These are the ones that are in. They open the doors at 10 o'clock. And then while they do so, and this is so petty too. It's the P.O.C. All right, and I'm speaking petty on behalf of what's the big picture. I'm the one that's exposing what Satan is doing amongst the people. All right, I'm the one that's prosecuting it. I'm showing you how you prosecute, like what do you even do with this, right? If someone was even aware, like where do you even start with this? I'm letting you know what you do with this. I'm gonna tell you exactly what to do with this. So the entity is engaging in this conduct, and what this is all about is that these minions are hostile, while I specifically reference the Oval Family Community Library, and it's the truth. All they're doing is stalking all day long, and it is pathetic. And it's also pathetic that your secret is known. You're sitting up being a stalker all day long. That's what you're paid to do at the Oval Family Community Library, because you're stalking. You're a demon-possessed stalker at that. All right, and you are engaging in this conduct, and then this is the pettiness that they engage in. But I'm going to prosecute you for that pettiness, because that's a threat to the life of an American citizen. All right, and you're doing that while you know that you're being documented. This is, all of that is everything that you remain cognizant of when you're prosecuting in the federal court. Okay, so the entity is engaging in this, and they are molesting with direct light as I'm just walking into the venue. Okay, these demons are mad. They know exactly every word that I utter, everything that I speak, which is the truth. That's why you're mad. You can be mad all you want, because you're going to be mad when you sit in a federal prison. You're going to be mad when your secrets are told to the world. You're going to be mad when people know the formula for identifying a demon. You're going to be mad when you're sitting in a mental institution. You can't figure out how come you can't demonstrate sanity and get out. Because they know that you're a psychopath. It's not about insanity. It's about what is a core level of evil with an intent to harm others. All right, wearing a mask in life, you're a threat. That's the type to go around engaging in the conduct of a serial killer, living their life as a con man. Let me be clear, that is the same type of threat. You're talking about a personality defect. That's what the demon-possessed are. So you're talking about what is group stalking right now. You do not know the levels to which this has escalated, where this system of public corruption has been entirely kept concealed and secret. That is a threat to the life of an American citizen. This sort of conduct, as though you're above the law, that's a threat to the life of an American citizen. You are absolutely required to address Satan, evil, criminal conduct by a corrupt government in the ways in which that I have suggested it. All right, and I'm suggesting it because I'm looking at the issue, I'm looking at the problem, and I'm like, oh, that's what you think you're going to do, Satan. And this is just awareness of what Satan intends to do based on Satan's pattern of conduct. And I understand also how it looks to the outside to somebody that doesn't understand the pattern. And I mean the objective observer, not the minion that's looking for some loophole to criticize evidence of what they know is true as well, which it doesn't matter what a minion thinks. They're over here group stalking me. All right, I don't care about what a minion thinks, but I'm speaking to the objective observer that is literally looking and seeking to learn, understand what it is that they're witnessing, that I'm exposing. I understand what it looks like on the outside when you're ignorant about what the pattern of conduct is. I understand. I'm seeing it from both sides. I get it. That's why I go to the extent to document so you can see. I understand where you're coming from, and this is what you need to understand what you are looking at. You're looking at it, and I need you to understand what it is you're looking at, okay? And I get that part. So this is understanding what is the mindset of demons that seek to deceive you because they're relying upon the fact that you will not actually see what it is that you're looking at, in other words, okay? But this is harassment. J-Fed hitting my chair. J-Fed did not accidentally hit my chair today when he's engaging in what is a battery. That's a battery, and let me be clear. The ordinary targeted individual is in every way going around in life terrorized. The police are following them everywhere, stalking them day and night in helicopters, harassing them, bringing fake cases in corrupt courthouses. All right, it's an ongoing threat to your life, an ongoing threat to your liberty. They are in every way terrorized. All right, and you are a third party. You're monitoring them as well. Everything about the environment is present in this venue. JFET did not accidentally hit my chair today. Okay? You know why also you know that? Because the entirety of that environment is there. JFET is, by evidence, a demon. They do not make any mistakes. It's ongoing activity creation. It is also a passive-aggressive method at showing hostility, in addition to what was the molestation of my person with directed light. In other words, he was shadow slinging while he accidentally, quote-unquote, hit my chair. That was not an accident. Understand that. And you are understanding this when you are both listening. This is what I want you to learn, people who are listening to me. I want you to be able to, in your mind, listen to the lies of Satan and open your eyes and pay attention to the truth that you see. Do not be deceived by the lies that come out of Satan's mouth. It's not about pessimism. You know the truth. Your eyes are not going to betray you. All right. The soothsayer that is Satan will lie to you. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. He can say whatever he wants. He can say he's sorry, whatever. I'm going to prosecute you, period. You're in relevant position. Oh, but you want to touch me. You want to touch me with directed light. And you also want to touch me by hitting my chair. Really? Okay. But like I said, these are hostile minions. And this is what I'm going on. They're molesting me with directed light. JFET did not accidentally hit my chair. All right. They're molesting me with directed light while I walk in the library. All right, the entity is hitting my chair while I'm inside of the venue. These demons are congregated around the bathroom. Those are predators. Those are sex offenders. That's exactly how the demon-possessed population placing under surveillance is going to be prosecuted, because that's what they're doing. Any other stalker following you into the bathroom, waiting for you outside of the bathroom, and you don't want them following you. Why in the hell are you following me around and they're waiting at? That's weird, right? Imagine a government doing that. Imagine a bunch of freaks engaging in shadow slinging and touching you with directed light doing that. Following you around in helicopters and using other people to follow you around in the bathroom. That's a sex offender. Okay? So, like I said, this is the entity engaging in what is harassing me while I speak the truth about what these demons are doing all day long inside of the Ovid Family Communal Library, which is stalking me, which is surveillance. Sitting around, taking turns, making noise based on what I do as I do it. You're the psychopath, freak, weirdo, stalker, not me. Okay, so how about you not be disturbed by the truth that I speak about you? Why don't you do something with your life? If you don't want to be described by what is the truth, I don't have to exaggerate. I don't have to make up stories. I couldn't make this up, by the way. I could not make it up. Contrary to what a minion will say. Oh, people are making it up. No, that's not true. What I have done is I have established beyond any reasonable doubt, by the way, a legal standard. But even outside of the court, I have established to the degree that no minion can deny it. All right. This is not something that people are making up. You're just talking about unfortunate souls who probably did not have the evidence to substantiate what it is that they are experiencing. And that breaks my heart. That's sad. And by the way, even if I wasn't subject to this, I would not be diagnosing people with mental issues because of that. You don't even know. That's a cold, inhumane response. And this is how you know it is not about the fact that people are lying about it. It's about the fact that Satan thought that it would that Satan, which is the government, which is the people of the state, they think that they can get away with this and thought that they would get away with this and that nobody would ever find out because no one would ever believe you. How are you going to prove it? Satan thinks that it's impervious to be. No, I captured your demonic light. I captured your demonic environment. I captured your demonic personality, your conduct, your behavior patterns, everything, every aspect of it. Nothing is left to the imagination. The full throttle pattern of conduct is captured for you, for the world to understand, because it's relevant to your everyday life. But it's also relevant to what's necessary laws in the U.S. out here, because this is how you're going to handle Satan. This is how you're going to handle what are the corrupt states, the government that's placing American citizens under surveillance. Because, in other words, Satan just thinks that you can go around terrorizing those that are of the light, and you cannot. Not only because you are a loser and darkness always loses, but because it is criminal and there are constitutional laws and you have a fundamental right as a human being in the U.S. to not be subject to that, whether you're a demon-possessed person or not. So anyway, it is currently 4:35 p.m. That's what I stepped out, and I'm speaking to the significance of the images. You're looking at the demon-possessed. And as you'll see, the demon-possessed are of different ages. All right, they're of different mental capacities. All right, different IQs, different races, different heights. It doesn't matter. They're all engaging in the same exact conduct, in the same exact specific environment. All right, and they're all engaging in this conduct, molesting me together, pacing back and forth, a bunch of psychopaths, sick people inside of the library. And then I step out, capture the fake sent over me at 4:05 p.m. All right, this is 215 U.S.C. Street. This is P.O.C. amplified audible activity while these underage minions are in operation of a communication device monitoring. And directed light. All right, these are little teenagers, little tweenie bops engaging in a sex offense on behalf of the people of the state and the state of California. It is, again, 7:39 p.m. This is operation of a communication device in directed light. The entity is amplifying audible activity. These are teenagers engaging in demonic conduct, which is terrorism. Terrorism, as the entity engages in it, is that which is delegated to those under the age of majority. And as I've also shown, demonic activity is not limited to the age of majority either. They are in directed light creating activity, demons knowing what I'm doing while the bathroom stall door is closed. All right, it is P.O.C. Why I said amplification? Because while I'm standing here, the entity amplified the sound. It's supposed to be like sounding like plumbing. The entity does this all the time. They're monitoring, okay? It's P.O.C.
5YNH958. Mm-hmm. 7UKJ586. 24024D3. And the Ontario International Airport. Is that who I hear stalking? I mean, it's always them. Yeah, that's them flying right over the museum where I'm standing, documenting the people of the state where they're touching with directed light. It's probably that group stalker I'm going to prosecute them to the degree that they should go out of business, Southwest Airlines. But definitely the Ontario International Airport. License 8L42392. 7NSP189. They're being prosecuted while terrorism is underway, while they are group stalking and an entity is stalking me with an airplane. These third parties are going to be prosecuted for that. License 6LLH615, 8HXV982. They are acting together. You're going to prosecute them for the police that are stalking you with helicopter. You're going to prosecute the third parties. You're going to prosecute the third parties that are stalking with the entity that's stalking you with airplanes. You're going to prosecute them for that. 12448K3, because that's what they're engaging in together. That's what group stalking is. And that's terrorism. Those third parties engaging in not only touching with light, but they are engaging in what is stalking, terrorizing me with airplanes flying over my head, and they are cooperatively pacing all around me in that environment, stalking together, cooperating with the state, enabling the state to engage in that criminal conduct, which is a threat to your life, which you have no legal right to do so. All right, it is currently 9:04 p.m. at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. This is what the Ontario International Airport is doing all day long. And again, the Ontario International Airport is using a plane that's flying directly where I'm standing at the corner of Transit and Euclid, not over the south side of the museum where I am laying. That's where the Ontario International Airport is going to concentrate plane activity now, because that's where I am positioned, okay, while they are indeed a group stalker. All right, it is, again, 9:04 p.m. This is P.O.C. I want you to see this. These are two helicopters. There's one. And there's a second one, if you saw. There it is right there at the top of the building. Pay attention right there. These are two helicopters. And the reason why I know at that great a distance. Alrighty, I'm restarting. The other video stopped, but what I was beginning to explain, first of all, there are multiple helicopters over here. There's two specifically, and I want to first be clear. It's demonic on more than one level. The fact that you are using helicopters to stalk a person and you're a police department, that's entirely criminal. It's not just the fact that they're criminals and not a legitimate police department. That stalking conduct in and of itself is demonic, and it's also occurring in a demonic environment. And so this is what I was pointing out before the video cut out. This is impossible light. This is a wall of light. It's on the face of the museum. There is no light on this yard space, okay? And even if there were, light with the downward trajectory is not going to shoot horizontally to cover the face of this museum. It's impossible light activity. That is not the explanation. This sort of light is not going to cover the face of the museum. And also you're looking at what is the enlarged size of these columns. That's what that's engineered light. This is demonic. They're stalking in the demonic environment. They are pacing around with multiple helicopters. That is their evidence of demon possession. In addition to that, the entity was surrounding me at that distance, at that elevation, while they are swarming around with that which I would not be able to hear. The reason why it's brought to my attention is because the entity is surrounding me with impossible audible activity. This ongoing murmur of helicopters surrounding me as though they are nearby, but they're not. They're way over there.
The entity is sounding, though. This is what that demonic environment, that's called amplified audible activity. That which is impossible to hear. They're surrounding me with the sound of helicopter over here. So I look up, I'm like, there's no helicopter. Oh, they're way over there. Impossible audible activity, multiple helicopters, which is relevant positioning. In directed light. I'm being molested with directed light. Impossible light activity, impossible audible activity. Those helicopters are not going to be heard. The entity, this is demonic. They are surrounding me over here with the sound of ongoing helicopters murmuring around me as though they're flying right here, and they're not. They're way over there. Okay, nonetheless, this is the Ontario Police Department. By they, that is the Ontario Police Department stalking, showing the world what is the evidence that will get any police department disbanded, showing what is the unstable mindset that they maintain, stalking with the people of the state, engaging in demonic behavior, stalking in the path with light. These are demons. These are demons. That's why when I document third parties stalking with the police, they go to federal prison. That's the formula. And I have a pool of defendants who will be sitting in federal prison and sitting in mental institutions. This is unstable conduct. That instability demonstrated by a police department, that's grounds of federal prison. That's grounds of what is going to a venue that is right now corrupt, but that can be remedied. That's what this documentation, that's what this exposure is serving to remedy this public corruption. But the Ontario Police Department and the people of the state, the demons that are stalking me together, stalking American citizens together for no legitimate purpose, they're going to sit in mental institutions such as Patton State Hospital, because that's where they belong. That's entirely demented. They are obsessively stalking, and they're not going anywhere. They are, just like you saw, they're just flying around in circles. They're doing it in directed light, and they're concentrating the audible activity of that which I would not be able to audibly perceive. They're surrounding me with the sound of helicopter activity over here. All right. And then I'm looking around. Where is the helicopter? I don't see it. Oh, they're over there, pacing around in relevant position, acting with the people of the state, surrounding in alignment with me with light. That's very precise positioning. These are demons. OK, this is out of the pit of hell. This is the ongoing evidence serving for where group stalkers belong. Group stalkers belong in federal prison. Group stalkers belong in what are mental institutions. And that's exactly what the prosecution for federal group stalking and monitoring shall result in. OK, this is P.O.C. at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts. This is ongoing state surveillance and terrorism. An entire entity knows exactly where I'm at. That's why you have this specific environment that's absolutely impossible, inexplicable light. All right, not normal light. That's not going to result from an ordinary light lamp hanging, light shooting horizontally, creating the shot. None of that's impossible light activity. Where the entity is stalking in that environment, evidence of demon possession, amplified audible activity, that which you cannot ordinarily audibly perceive. That is evidence of demon possession. Stalking in that environment is the evidence of demon possession. The people of the state, you're not looking at traffic. These are demons that are pacing. This is surveillance. This is group stalking. All right. And this is P.O.C. This is an entity that is stalking with the people, with the Ontario Police Department, the entity that engages in what is theft of property, engage in assault and battery, engage in what is ongoing harassment while they're group stalking with the police, and they do so with impunity. All right. This is the P.O.C. It is currently, by the way, 9:14 p.m. at the Ontario Museum of History and Arts.